big breakfasts and been caught staring. This week on Jim Joe Steve Show.
Here's a story about 20 years ago. 3 bros who grew up in Baltimore to the beach show. Every summer they had to go before they got married with kids. Now they all grown. Long trips to New York and Toronto. Playing beer pong with Captain Morgan's. Free throws. And if you don't know, now you know. Coming in hot, Jim Joe Steve Show.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Jim Joe Steve Show. My name's Joe.
I am Jim.
I'm Steve.
We have gotten a few requests from a few different prisons for you to finish your your tailgate story.
Wayne County.
Hey-o. Yeah, I've been waiting a damn week to get the recap of this story.
I know, it felt so quick. So last week we talked about
Going to the Ravens game.
Going to the Ravens game and
tailgating and stuff.
There's a tailgate. It was people that I worked with. They had a Winnebago that they set up with a bar.
A tiki bar.
A tiki bar. You would go there. You could get whatever you wanted to drink. You would just throw money in a tip jar. They would use that money to buy
More booze
for the following week. I would go there a lot, and then I knew everybody, and I was friends with everybody. Sometimes I would just go behind the bar.
Just being a mixologist?
Yeah, I'd be a mixologist. At one game, we went back, and I was with one of the guys who usually were there. Somebody comes up and says, "Can I have a Coors Light?" And I say, "Oh, I'm sorry, dude. We don't have Coors Light. We have Miller Lite. Do you want a Miller Lite?" And he said, Yeah, I'll take a Miller Lite. And I was like, all right, cool. He's like, how much is it? I was like, oh, it's, whatever you want to throw in. It's like $1 or $2. It's fine. And he's just like, well, how about I throw nothing in? And he opens up his wallet and he has this fucking badge. And he's like, I'm a undercover police officer for liquor. And then I said, that shit's not real. Like, get the fuck out of here. Then all of a sudden we looked around. You could see different officers
closing in on you.
There were more than one.
Was
plain
it the
clothes?
ATF?
All plain clothes. And they were I forget what
selling alcohol without a license.
With the khakis and oversized polo shirt.
Yes, and a members only jacket. Yeah. And so they shut this shit down, and then they take everybody who goes into deals with the Winnebago every week, and myself into the thing, and
they round everybody up and put them in your own vehicle.
Put us in their own vehicle.
In your own paddy wagon.
Yeah. And then they want to come in and they start questioning us. The thing was, I fucked up. If I would have said it's free, and I was like, oh, the beer's free, you can just, if you want to contribute to next week, no problem. But because I said a price of like $1 or $2, that was illegal. So they take us into the thing and then read us a riot act and saying, that it carries a $30,000 fine, all this shit. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to go to fucking jail over fucking saying something stupid. So they go
basically a mix up of words.
Yeah.
Essentially.
So they take they were just trying to get somebody.
Right.
So, and they just were filling out, took all our information, all that, everything, took our IDs, put all that stuff in, and they ended up letting us go, which I was like, oh, fuck yes. I was like, thank God. But it was like 45 minutes of thinking I'm going to go to jail for fucking giving somebody a Miller Lite. And I was so fucking pissed off about it. The worst part was, they received a letter from the NFL that said you are no longer allowed to tailgate.
No way.
Yes.
Come on.
And it was all my fault.
But didn't it still continue?
Yes. So what happened? They got a different Winnebago. They ended up getting a different Winnebago. They parked somewhere else for a while.
Right.
And then they got a different Winnebago. And then the NFL thing, I guess it tied. I don't know how the tracking thing was.
Change their license plate,
or maybe someone else.
But
got
they
the
don't
thing.
track that. I think it's one of those.
Yeah,
we told you, and if you get caught again, we're no.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing. Like they're not
like
they don't know that you went back and did it, but if you got caught again, it would.
And if
register.
you go in there now, if they do it, they have the letter framed on the thing from the
really?
NFL, and I felt so bad because it I didn't go there all the way. I didn't have I didn't do anything for this.
There's no prep work from you.
Yeah, like
just
I just showed up.
Drunk
and
Steve.
Is that tailgate still going?
Yeah, I think it still goes.
If you are a part of that tailgate and you happen to listen to our show, give us a call. Who was your old coworker that used to be part of it?
Rich.
Yeah. He's a good dude.
I was thinking, do you guys think that Adnan is going to go to a Ravens game?
Who?
Adnan from Serial, I assume.
Did you ever listen to Serial?
Oh, yeah. That was one of the first podcasts I listened to.
I mean, that was like the first
You're right,
big podcast.
I know.
But I didn't listen to it when it came out. I listened to
okay.
it later.
Yeah, did you see the video of him getting out of prison?
No,
so
I did read an
for
article.
our listeners who haven't ever listened.
If you were under a rock,
yeah, I know it was like the biggest podcast, and it actually like crossed over into like SNL and everything. And
Oh man, the SNL Christmas skit about that was so good.
But he ended
making fun of murder.
No, it was
Jesus.
no. They were making fun of like the way the podcast was like produced. Because like
that's
really
good.
Yeah, like that podcast is like the most well produced podcast like in history, and they nailed everything, like the interview styles, the voices.
You mean the investigative journalism that
how
was
Sarah Koenig talked?
Yeah.
And then what happened recently is they realized that some of the material that they had from the trial wasn't substantial
the
enough.
prosecutor withheld
Yeah,
certain evidence that showed that there could be other suspects.
Yeah. So right now they have a chance. So he got out of jail. He's on house arrest for. He's on house arrest, I guess, indefinitely until they figure out what they're going to do. But
They have 30 days.
State has 30 days to try the case. But did you see the video of when he got home?
Mm-mm.
Like what he did when he got home?
No.
So he goes home, and what would you think? Like, all right, your son or your family member has been in prison for 23 years for something that he says he didn't do, and he gets out because he might have not done it. All right, what do you do?
I mean, throw a big party.
Yeah, he goes home, and they're like, they're like, oh, there's some leftovers in the fridge.
What?
So there's a video of him just sitting there. He's like, "What are these things?" And they're like, "They're dumplings." He's like, "They're from yesterday." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And he just starts eating all the leftovers in the refrigerator. And I was like, "Man, they
talk about anticlimactic."
Well, you know what? I wonder if they saw him so often in prison, if like they visited him so much that like seeing him.
I think that doesn't
no
matter.
way,
No?
no
Oh,
way."
okay.
Because
All
it's
right.
got to feel like
Over 2 decades in prison.
Yeah.
for something that he says he didn't. He
I don't
didn't
think
do.
he did it.
Like, yeah, I mean, I would say I lean towards he didn't. And
I-
if
me
he
too,
did do
but-
it, I don't think there was enough to put him behind bars. Anyway, but to your point, Steve, if somebody goes away for a week and come home, I feel like they get more fanfare than him. You know what I mean? Like he just walked in and like looked in the fridge. There's nobody there. His dad's on his laptop, or his little sister's like on her iPad.
Don't shit in the hallway bathroom. There's leftovers in the fridge.
And it was like Chinese food leftovers. You know, it was just like, and I was like, man, I guess that's got to be better.
That makes him look guilty. Maybe he's guilty. His parents know he's not going to be out for long.
Yeah, I guess so. But I just couldn't get over the fact that like when he didn't get there wasn't a big like
At least something.
I'm going to use the word hullabaloo.
Fanfare.
Yeah, there wasn't all because there were people cheering outside of
Like outside of the prison.
outside the courthouse or prison. When he got out, there were people fucking losing their minds. Like all the national news was there. And he goes home and has fucking leftover Chinese food.
That's tough.
And it's like,
I mean, leftover Chinese food's delicious.
I guess.
I eat
He
the
probably
shit
had
out
to
of
heat it
some
up
cold
himself.
lo mein.
I'm sure they're probably. He was eating it but cold. He
Dude.
was taking it out of the refrigerator and
cold
just
lo
eating
mein is so good.
it. He's got it. But I mean, I guess he didn't care. Like, you know, I guess he's been eating bologna.
I mean, does he get...
We just need a listener.
I don't... So here's something. Conjugal visits. Because I feel like if I was away for 23 years,
I don't know if that's real. I don't know if that's a real.
yeah,
thing.
I don't know either. So I'm just saying if that was the first, especially if I walk in the house and my parents are like, there's leftovers in the fridge. My second thing would be like, I need to get some booty because my parents did not do this enough. I need some more attention. But if his parents saw him all the time and there was conjugal visits, if that thing exists, I don't know. Maybe that is the right response to like. I still feel like maybe a cake.
I mean, he went into jail.
A pie.
Cake
I would ask for a
crowbar
pie.
in the middle. If you went to prison for 23, I mean, he went into jail when he was
like 18.
He was 17.
17.
He was a minor when the crime was committed or whatever. But he's been in there, and he was going to graduate. He's the same age as me, and if you had a conjugal, like no way any woman would stay with you for that long.
There's crazy ass women. There are crazy ass women.
And then after the podcast came out, the Serial podcast, it probably went, his Q rating probably went through the fucking roof.
I mean, I know you say there's crazy ass women, but the only example I know of somebody dating somebody in prison is George Costanza.
What?
I've never watched.
He's
Seinfeld.
never watched Seinfeld, and
right.
I missed that.
Remember that episode where he's dating the woman in prison, and he likes it because he knows where she is all the time.
I only know that people don't want to go to prison because of Prison Mike.
Prison Mike.
Yeah, but it just blew my mind that.
Can we get somebody from prison to reach out to us in some fashion to let us know about conjugal visits? Are they a real thing?
I think they are, but they're in different like counties.
If they are a real thing, what do you have to do to get them?
Like, can it only be like a spouse?
Is it only in federal prison or like state penitentiary?
I don't know.
Or
I think it's like because
some type of.
I feel like
crimes?
I feel like I've watched like things where they go into it and it's like a little apartment and they're
like
there for the night.
Orange is the New Black. I feel like
It's got a black leather couch,
heart-shaped bed. Yeah,
wine glass jacuzzi.
Yeah.
It's like the Poconos.
Yeah.
This is a question I want to know. So, if we got some prison people that listen to us within the prison system, currently in the system, or even out, whatever, the commissary, right? That's the thing. So, if I gave somebody $5, would they be like, "Yes, this I can float this for 3 weeks"?
Hell no. I
or
bet
things
that's
like
so expensive.
like a candy bar, is that like $30?
No, but it's probably like $3 or $4.
Do you guys ever watch 60 Days In?
No.
I've
heard of it, but I've never watched it. If you tap out, you get nothing, or is there some type of? Do you get a prize if you last?
He's going into prison to see where like fixes can be made in a prison.
But I don't know. They have to get paid. They have to get
right.
paid.
I mean, you could see issues at a company, and you don't have to work there.
I mean, would
you know what I mean?
Like you're a consultant,
right? But that's basically what they're doing. Like you don't have to risk your life to go. Yeah, you guys should tighten up security or something.
Would you go into prison for 60 days for free?
No, but I thought it was more of a what was that show where like the CEO of Subway would go and work in a Subway
Undercover
for
boss.
That's kind of what I thought it was. That's kind of what I had pictured in my head.
You go put on a wig and a mustache and go act like a new hire.
I'm a criminal, hey guys. I love to rob 7-Elevens. What are you in for?
I love crime.
The one thing about 60 Days In.
Hey guys, do any crimes?
When they would go into
don't do the crime, you can't do the time.
To go back to when we started talking about the commissary, commissary is really like gold in prison. Where
Orange is the New Black taught me that.
Yeah, and a guy was trying to show that how he could buy drugs in the prison.
Honey buns and cigarettes.
2 soups. 2 soups, like 2 ramens, and and that would get you like 4 Percocets or something like that.
God, for some reason, like I thought you were gonna say like 2 soups, and that gets you like 4 drugs.
They get you so many drugs. 2 soups. The other day, Caitlin is in Fordham. She saw Joe Biden drive by her.
Is he on a bike?
No, he wasn't on a bike. He was on the thing.
Training wheels.
This isn't a political thing at all. And I don't want
Yeah, let's go there.
I'm not going to take it there.
Joe is his ass cheeks are tightened up.
Welcome to the last episode of Jim Just Steve Show.
Read this article, and I want to hang out with Hunter Biden. not do drugs or anything like that.
But that's what he does. Like, what are you going to do if you're hanging out with Hunter?
He knows how to party.
That you're absolutely right.
The pictures I've seen of him where he was like sliding down a slide butt naked, and then like he's just like, and the article's funny because it's like sliding down completely naked, having group sex, and I was just like, this.
So you want to show up after the crack smoked, but before the orgies.
No, I just want to experience what it's like. And he was at like a $4,000. Like, if you're like, how does
total freedom just to do complete debauchery?
Do you know who my dad is?
I just think it's crazy that like it'd be so like it's got to be, and then he's like doesn't have to worry about money, so it's just it's just crazy to me.
He just lives the extreme life, but it's not a let's go skydiving and adventure. He just went the other route of complete debauchery.
There's a different kind of like extreme when like skydiving would be like extreme for us because that's like, you know, kind of affordable. Skydiving for him, like he doesn't like.
But I'm saying when you think of
there's different levels of exciting depending on your bank account.
True. But when your bank account can afford anything,
right?
You don't always just go to drugs because I know plenty of poor people that have gone that route too. So that's not the automatic.
No.
You know what I mean? So when you have the choice to do anything and the means, and you choose to go, let me go to the debauchery side. It's not automatic. That's just the side that he went to.
And when you have like that kind, like where you have that kind of money and stuff like that, like where do you find the people that always glom onto? Like where are the people that
I think they find you.
Yeah. Like you have to steer around those people.
How do you get in the business of being one of the people that glom on to stuff? Like where would you have to like go to?
Know someone who knows someone.
Is that what
that's
it
pretty
is?
much when you just and
No
it's
idea.
like if you knew somebody that knew someone throwing a party that Hunter Biden might be at, you'd be like, hey, you tell me or whatever. And I'm like, I'm hanging out with Steve that day because he's hanging out with this guy, and then we're gonna go up to that party. And then it just happens, you know, like instead of your one friend knowing him and going, now there's 5 of us that want to go.
I remember we were up in Cape May one year, and one of our friends' brother's wife her family used to vacation in Cape May, and her family was really close with Anne Hathaway's family. And it was like, you know, the weekend is called some like a hospitality weekend, I think. And, you know, people who vacation in Cape May come back for this like weekend. It's like the first weekend in December. The town's all decorated for Christmas and everything. And we were in town for that weekend. And the girl was like, yeah, like, you know, I think we're going to go to this party later. I think Anne's going to be there. And that's, you know, our friend was like, oh, you know, that'd be really cool. Like if we see Anne Hathaway, and my ears perked up. I was like, what? Like we go to a party. Anne Hathaway is going to be at this party. Like, let's leave right now. What do we need to do? Get out of the house and get to this party. And then like everybody else was like, you know,
playing
just
cool.
But yeah, you know, we're having drinks at their house. And I was like, so are we leaving? What are we going to do? Are we going to go to this party? What's going to happen? And we ended up not going. And I was like,
bullshit.
I was like, what the fuck?
I
I just want to go to the party where Anne Hathaway
I
is.
feel like I don't know. It would be. Have you ever been to a party with a celebrity in there, a quasi celebrity?
I went to a party with one of the guys from Good Charlotte when they first, I think.
After Eric beat him in Battle of the Bands.
Because they had a song on the radio. It wasn't Benji. It wasn't one of the twins whatever, if is there a third or fourth guy, was that guy. It was like a drummer or whatever, or maybe a bassist, and he dated some girl that worked in one of those like Hot Topic-ish type stores in Columbia Mall, and somebody I knew her, and just we didn't go because he was going to be there, but like he was there, and I don't know.
Do you try to talk to him, or
I didn't say one word.
Yeah, I feel like,
and I wouldn't have known it was him unless somebody was like pointed out to, it's like, what? I don't get starstruck, so it's not like I wouldn't talk to anybody anyway unless they came up to me at a party, regardless of who they are.
Biggest celebrity I ever met was Mark Viviano at a party.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
But
no, you met Christine.
Janine.
No,
but that wasn't at a party.
That wasn't at a party.
Right,
that was just at a
right.
diner.
Yeah.
So, but
The Viv.
But it's just I don't.
And the girl I brought to that party licked whipped cream off a stripper's thigh.
The back of her knee.
Nice.
I married that girl.
Nice.
It's funny because I would feel like when you're at a situation when you're at a party like that, like you don't want to go straight up to the guy and be like, like, hey, what's up? Let's be boys or whatever.
That is not in my personality. I would never. I don't care who's over there. Pick Brad Pitt,
Ben Affleck.
Even Ben, I would give him if we locked eyes at any point, I'd give him the nod, because I feel like if you don't at that level of celebrity, if you don't acknowledge them, it looks like a diss. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I would totally approach anyone and say hi and try to talk to them.
No.
Yeah, like it's a weird line that you would have to go with. Where do you go up to a celebrity and because you could be bothering them, like if
they're at a party where majority of the people are not famous or not in the business, I think they appreciate not being the celebrity. They just want to hang out.
But if you are a celebrity, you gotta kind of have like a little bit of pig-headedness, I guess. That you want somebody to come up and
they
talk.
feed off that. There's the
so like
the
Joe's
egos.
approach is probably like that more. Like it's so tough to
Did I ever tell you about the time I had breakfast with two billionaires?
No, but are they celebrities? No, there's not many celebrity billionaires.
Yeah, I mean they're famous in certain circles,
but not.
They're famous.
They're not
they're famous in
recognizable.
Forbes magazine.
They're not
no,
recognizable.
you wouldn't recognize them by their face, probably or by their name.
Now, were you their waiter?
So no, so
you spilled something on them.
So I was all right, but I was an early adopter of Pinterest, and
before all the women got on board with it.
No, I got about on the same time as they did. So I love Pinterest. I still use it to this day. And I get an email one day saying like, hey, the Pinterest like corporate team is going to be coming to your area, and we wanted to meet with a few local pinners and just pick your brains about what you like and what you don't like about, the app. I sent it back in an email. I was like, yeah, sure. Like they were actually going to be at that place, Our House, that was by my old house in the city.
Okay. I like that place.
And they were like, all right, we're going to be there from like, 3 to 6. Stop by whenever you can. And it was
AM?
No, PM. I was like, yeah, like I will definitely come and meet you. I know exactly where that place is, but I'm not going to be able to get there by 6. And they were like, all right, just get there as soon as you can. We'll wait for you. And I was like, huh, that's weird. So I get there, and it's the two women that worked for them. And
what time was it? What time did you get there?
Like an hour and a half after.
Oh, that's pretty.
But that's on time for Joe. I mean, he's hour and a half late all the time.
I told him, that it was going to be
no,
late.
but I mean, for them to wait. Well, they didn't wait.
They waited. So I get there, and they're like, you want a drink? It's on us. I was like, yeah, I got a drink, and we sat down.
What kind of drink did you get? Cheap drink or expensive?
Old fashioned. And
good move. Top shelf?
probably not. Probably just regular
Bullet?
bourbon old fashioned.
All right.
So they were like, tell us what you like, and I started telling them what I liked, and well, what don't you like? And they're like, okay, so just to clear the air here, we waited for you specifically because you're not quite our demographic, and we really want to know, like, we see how much you use this thing, and we want to know.
They looked at your account.
They would know everything about.
They know everything about the account.
Yeah.
They're like, we want to know how to attract more of your demographic.
It would be
to
so funny
Pinterest.
if Joe. Pinterest doesn't have porn at all.
No.
But if he had if it skewed that way,
It definitely did not skew that
Joe
way.
sits down, they pull up his Pinterest, all it's
Just
No, not at all. Lots of
it's like lady wearing stilettos or like some weird like niche thing, and like
the woman cooking and he zooms in on her breasts.
there is a lot of recipes saved, a lot of home design.
Follow me, you fucking idiot.
So we go through it, and it was cool. I talked to them for a while, and they were like, all right, well, the owners of Pinterest are going to be coming back. They're going to be coming here in a couple weeks or month or whatever, and they're going to have breakfast with a couple people. And if we would that be something you were interested in? Sit down at a big breakfast. I was like, yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah,
like,
man.
just email me, whatever. So, a month, 2 months goes by, I'm not even thinking about it anymore, and I get a call or an email saying the owners are going to be in town tomorrow, and they want to have breakfast with you. Not like with a group of people. They want to sit down and talk to you. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, what? Like, yeah. I was like, all right, yeah, all right, I'm in. They were like, all right, where do you want to go? And I was like,
Okay. They asked you. That was going to be my first question. Is like, where did you go?
But I was like, how about just a local diner near my work? And they were like, yeah, that's fine. So we just went to a little diner.
I would think like they picked the place, but it is funny that they asked you because they were specifically trying to cater to you. So
it was. I just picked some diner on Route 1, and so I think to myself, how often do you get to sit down with a billionaire, or two of them?
Zero.
Never. I gotta pitch some wacky idea to him.
This is my chance.
Well, I'm my next question was going to be
not the worst idea.
How much do you prepare? Like you have to.
So other than
like I would feel like I'm sorry to interrupt you,
No.
but I would feel like you don't.
But you got to be on.
Yes,
It's almost like a job interview.
You can't come.
Always on.
But you can't come there like all willy nilly, being like, "What do you like?" I'm like cooking recipes and looking at the zooming in on
But
the breast.
I mean, really,
I like to see
I like a little nip slip every now and
teddy.
again.
But I just feel like So you decided
Like
that
there would be some nerves.
yes, and
Right.
I would feel like I don't want to go in like you probably overthink it, but I want to know like
Yeah, so I was like, I need to come up with something like kind of funny, but relatable, something that includes Pinterest. Like I need to come up with an idea. So I was racking my brain. I spent, the entire
I got the
evening.
scrub daddy. It scrubs your pots and pans.
So I thought I came up with this idea, and I still to this day think it's an awesome idea. You guys know the idea of Pinterest, like and how it works.
Yeah,
right?
I have
You
a Pinterest
board.
I don't
you got your
use it that often, but I have it, and I
you
get
have
it.
different boards, and you can save different categories of things.
Right,
together.
right. Like if you're doing a home renovation, you can create
Yeah.
one that says bathroom
Bathrooms.
renovation,
Yeah,
and you put all the
exactly.
little fancy stuff that you might want in your bathroom renovation. I get it.
Okay, and those are called boards, and that's important. So, do you know
Porn board.
Got my titty board. I got my ass board.
So
You said that. It's still making me laugh.
So I came up with this idea. Do you know the term like crashing the boards in like hockey or basketball?
Yeah. Like going up for a rebound or
Exactly,
like,
or fighting for a puck off the board.
Yeah.
So I think I come up with this idea where you get a hockey player, because hockey players I think are rustic, kind of do it yourself kind of guys. You get a hockey player to host a DIY style television show where you pick a random pinner, and obviously the behind the scenes is they contact them and they say, we want to do something that has to do with your Pinterest boards. We want to take your bedroom Pinterest board and we want to completely redesign your bedroom Pinterest board based on the different pins that you have in your thing. And, just
like
go
a little
straight
home makeover show.
Home, exactly. But going by that.
But more rugged.
A little bit more rugged, and it would be called Crashing the Boards with whoever the host's name was. And it would be like sponsored by Pinterest. The whole thing would be run by Pinterest. And I thought it was an awesome idea.
No, I don't hate it. But did they just blank stare you?
No, everybody laughed. Everybody was like, that's a really funny idea.
But then you were like, it's not funny. It was a real idea, guys.
I was happy with the laugh.
This jokester.
They started laughing and then said, so tell us more about Pinterest. What do you like? Like, okay.
Was it one of those laughs where nobody laughed and then they looked at the boss and then he laughed and then they all laughed?
How many people? Was it just the two owners?
It was the two owners and then their like assistant.
Okay.
Was the assistant taking notes?
She was, yeah. She was taking notes, taking pictures.
Of you?
Do you think when they walked out of there, they were like, crashing the boards?
Yeah,
we just gave this guy a free lunch.
Well, they were probably like a sports reference. What does that mean?
Puck?
What do they look like when you go in? When you paint the picture?
Do you recognize that they're who they are?
Did you know who they were? I mean, you probably Googled them.
I did Google them. One was one was a tall, lanky white guy, and the other one was like a shorter.
Take the assistant out of the equation, and you walked in that diner. Would you walk past those guys and go, they have some money, or would
no? Absolutely not.
They were just two regular dudes,
t-shirt, jeans, and like maybe
the relatable billionaire.
Okay,
Totally.
So they weren't like wearing like
The Zuckerberg.
sport. Okay,
Not at all.
What did you? Were you just wearing work clothes, or did you?
Yeah, I was
He
wearing
wore
like jeans and a button
tie,
down, and I had a big old mustache.
handlebar.
Nah, just regular
mustache.
regular mustache.
It reminds me of. Do you remember? Skip level breakfasts.
Oh
I
hated
at
those.
Verizon.
I did hate that.
Yeah, Bob Evans.
Yeah, they were always at the Bob Evans, and they were honestly the worst fucking thing. You would go there, and it was basically you're like
It was
the
the most
peons. You're the
awkward.
peons, and they don't want your manager there, and you're with their boss.
You want
Yeah.
to speak freely. That's what.
Yeah.
yeah, right,
They want you to
motherfucker.
speak
Feel free
freely.
to talk shit about your boss.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is a safe space.
Right.
And I would, and you would have all those people that would sit there and then they're trying to make a name for themselves. And
That's why I hate fucking corporate.
And it would just, you would just sit there and
Bunch of fucking kiss asses.
I never talked. Did you guys ever talk to them, Joe?
I think I only ever went to one.
I was gonna say I think I only ever went
I
to one.
had to go to a fucking couple.
So you remember the lady that was running everything when we were going to those?
Yes.
And we were.
What's her name? The fuck they gonna do? Jesus Christ!
I don't know.
None of us work there.
But we don't ever say anybody's name. We usually don't. We were at some like yearly conference, and me, you, Jerry, her, and Mike. We were all standing around in a circle, and
Jerkin. I saw it in your face. I saw it. Steven was like trying to come up with that.
And she was, like my mom's age, like older than us.
Same haircut.
And it's a very similar haircut. My mom's hair is actually, she can put it in a ponytail now.
Oh.
She's just letting it grow out.
What's up, Miss Joe?
So I don't know what happened, but like either later that day, Jerry comes up, later that day or maybe the next day, I get it's like somebody approaches me and they're like, you know, Karen's pissed that like you were staring at her boobs when we were sitting around talking in that circle. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? First of all, she was probably wearing a blouse that went up to her chin and then a jacket over it. Second of all, are you fucking kidding me?
I love those wrinkled up tits.
I was.
He pinned it.
Put that one on the board.
Man.
Joe's got a thing for old ladies. That's why she didn't like me, because she didn't fucking like you. So
She knew we were friends.
Yeah.
Maybe.
God damn it.
So what did you say?
God, I would wish I could have been there for that conversation of her telling your boss or your manager.
I don't know if she told Mike or maybe she told Jerry, because I think Jerry worked under her at the time. She told somebody and it got back to me and I was like, you gotta be, come on, man. Like
the absurdity.
Like the more you deny it, the more it makes you look guilty. Like there's nothing you can do. That'll be like, oh no, Joe didn't do it.
I think just stating the facts makes me not guilty. Like
right, but it's the you defending yourself. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he probably did it. Like, how do we spin this?
yeah, I was flabbergasted.
Because you know, I don't. It was she, by all accounts of attractiveness, she doesn't fall in. She doesn't skew high.
Yeah, I mean, certainly not my cup of tea.
Right. Unless she's wearing an open fucking blouse.
Right.
Bob Evans at 7 a.m.
Right.
Joe's
She was
looking
like,
at
she was dressed like a nun without a headdress.
Like the absurdity of you when they said that to you, like
I would just think they were joking. I would just
see,
think they
I
do.
initially thought it was a
I thought
joke.
they were
Yeah.
fucking with me.
Yeah.
Did you apologize to her?
Potentially. Hell no, because I didn't do anything.
Can you imagine every time he's seen her, like he would have to strain to make eye contact now.
I swear to God, that is the funniest
Fucking thing.
And to think,
I called her a slut one time.
I do remember.
As a joke?
Yeah, it was kind of like, you know, a little too loosey goosey, and
Drinks were flowing.
drinks were flowing. She was drinking her Cosmopolitans like nonstop, and I overstepped my boundaries. Like we were all gonna do a shot of redheaded slut, and I was like, you probably like him because you're probably a slut, and just joking around like that.
Just joking.
and it was like the record was like, and then I apologized immediately, but it was just like,
Did you get in trouble for that?
nah. I didn't get in trouble.
Were you worried about it though? I feel like I remember
Yeah.
you telling me about
Yeah,
that, and you were
yeah.
like, I think I fucked up.
Yeah, of course I thought of myself,
Oh.
but
He never looked at her tits.
never got accused of that.
That's even worse.
So bizarre.
God, that it almost makes you angry, because there have been probably points in any man's life where he has glanced down.
100%.
But
an
that would not-
uncountable amount of times.
That would not be one of the
That
times.
was not one of them.
But like now you're just getting caught for all the past times, right? Like it's all catching up, and you're like found guilty. Even though you didn't do the crime, you have done the crime prior,
Right.
just not in this particular instance.
And she probably told so many people.
Oh, really? Was she a gossiper?
No, I don't know, but I'm just trying to like.
It didn't stop at Jerry, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's like,
somebody
She's
else.
like, do you believe what this motherfucker did?
do you know Joe from store blah blah blah?
Googly eyes, Joe.
He looked like Steve Buscemi and Big Daddy. Look at my tatas.
All right, call us with your prison stories.
At 856 the JJSS.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
At Jim Joe Steve.
And for the Jim Joe Steve Show, my name's Old Stare at Him.
I'm Steve.
Jim,
And we'll talk to you
see you
next
next
week.
week.